And welcome back to Broader Financial Future. In today's video, I'm going to discuss AMD versus Intel stock. I'm going to give a breakdown on both stocks and what I think about both stocks at the end of this video. When it comes to Intel and AMD, there's various opinions on which one is better. Some people like AMD, some people like Intel. I would say more people lean towards AMD than Intel. Most of the time, when people refer to Intel, they consider it a dead company, and AMD is the future, and so forth. And listen to people I know and respect, they both have various opinions as well. So I wanted to make a video and kind of look at both and kind of really figure out what semiconductor company I like more and I should be investing my money into in the future. But before we get started, you know the deal. Hit that subscribe button. But that's enough of that. Let's just jump into today's video. So first up, I'm going to discuss Intel, and we're just going to look at the 52-week high was $68.49. I'm just trying to look and see like how high it was, and it's trading at a 24% discount. So if this is a stock that you're looking into, you can see a little bit of upside potential in the coming weeks or months, or it could go down, who knows. But that's just something I always like to look at for entry price. Next up, I want to look at the PE. So the trailing PE, which is the price to earnings, is $10, or excuse me, 10, and the forward PE is 14. So basically, for every dollar the company earns, that's basically what it means you're paying for. So that's that. I like the PE. I think the PE is solid when it comes to Intel. I think it's trading for a good value right now. Also, I like to look at the return on equity. It's at 25%. Also looked at the operating cash flow, which is not here on the screen, in 2020. So it's up. The operating cash flow is up. The cash and cash equivalents is up. And their free cash flow is up as well. So those are important numbers I like to look at as well. At least 5%, and is actually up at least 5% on the operating cash flow and cash equivalents, which is very important to me. It shows that the company is growing. In addition to that, Intel shares outstanding for the quarter ending in September is down by 2.7%. So I like to see the shares outstanding decreasing, and we're seeing that there. So that basically means we're getting more of the company, right? So for example, if there's 100 shares out there and are buying back 10 and we own 10, so now there's only 9. Oh, my math is all the way off there. Basically, if there's 100 shares out there and you own 10 and they decrease it by 10, now there's only 90. That 10 shares that you own increase in value overall for the most part. So I like to look at how many shares are outstanding. So let's jump into AMD here real quick. So when you look at AMD 52-week high, it was trading upwards to $164. It is down 29% from its high. In addition to that, when you look at it does have a smaller market cap compared to Intel, which is solid. You know, at the end of the day, Intel is the bigger company. But look at this PE. The PE is way higher. It's basically almost 4 times higher than Intel. So it's definitely trading at a higher value than Intel, which is kind of crazy to me. But I feel like a lot of people believe in Intel. I mean, believe in AMD more than Intel. In addition to that, when we look at the return on equity, well, this is really good at 72%. So they're really killing it when it comes to the return on equity. That's one thing they do have on Intel. Their cash and cash equivalent is up. The operating cash flow is up. So that's good as well as their free cash flow, which is very important. In addition to that, now this is one thing they're actually doing. They have been issuing more shares. So your shares are actually decreasing in value if you own this particular stock. All right. So that's something to be aware of. But I don't think a lot of people even notice when people issue shares. So I guess it doesn't really it matters, but people don't really see it. All right, so let's look at the chart, right? So AMD in the past year is up 25% compared to Intel, which is down almost 10% um, for the year. Now, when you look at the year to date, it's kind of like in reverse. AMD is down almost 20%, and Intel is almost up 1%, which is basically nothing. But the stock market has been acting crazy, especially in the last couple of days. So that's something to be aware of as well. All right. In addition, one thing I like to look at as well is the revenue, right? So on the left hand side, you can see the difference between Intel and AMD. Intel is really still generating a lot of revenue and earnings. They're still killing it. Like they make about even in earnings, like what was that, 10 times more than AMD? If you look at AMD, they're barely starting to turn some earnings since 2018. There was a little in 2017, but really in 2020, it really jumped up. So you're really seeing the potential of AMD here, right? So it's starting to go up a bit. But overall, I think Intel has more upside. Intel is not going away. Either is AMD. I think I think Intel it still brings in the cash and it offers a dividend. Um, Intel has a better PE compared to AMD. Like I said, it has a dividend. They're also buying back shares, which is very important, versus AMD, which is actually issuing more shares and they do not offer a dividend, right? But I believe, but AMD is a bet on the future and future potential. Can it dethrone Intel? That's really what you're paying for. You believe that AMD is going to be the winner in this fight. Um, that's the reason why it has a higher PE because most people believe in AMD a little bit more than they do in Intel. So that's really that's really what we're seeing here. But for me, I recently purchased Intel and I plan on purchasing more. Actually, doing this video was kind of like an eye opener. I hear a lot of people talking about AMD, AMD, AMD. I think AMD has a lot of potential, but for me, I think Intel is not dead. Intel is still in a fight, and that's the reason why I'm buying more into Intel at this moment. Out of the two, I might buy AMD in the future, but I'd like to see that PE ratio go down first before I actually jump into AMD. All right, folks, that's pretty much all I have for this video. I'd like to hear your comments below. Do you own Intel or AMD? Which one do you think is a better stock overall? I know there's a bit of controversy on which one is actually better. So I definitely like to hear from you in the comment sections. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only. And any investment may involve risk. As you can see in the chart in the year to date for AMD, it went down. So always, always be responsible. Until next time, peace.